right. Well, it's been a little while, but we're getting back to getting some of the set pieces podcast going. And in particular, we're going to focus in on establishing a podcast, a regular podcast for the women's division here in the Georgia Conference. And what better way to start than to talk to Alec Morrison of Geranium City FC? They have just won the regular season title in the Georgia Conference for the women. And so I want to welcome you in, Alec. And how you doing today? First of all, how you doing?
Great. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's good to have you here with us today. Now, regular season championship in your first attempt at doing it, first year in the or first season in the Georgia women's division. What are your general feelings about that accomplishment for your club?
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing that kind of led to the success was the team coming together, right? We'd never played together before. Many of the players had never played together before, coming from different environments. Um, but it's just how quickly the group gelled. Like even from the first training session we had until like today, and we'll have another training session today. It'll be similar atmosphere. Where it's very positive. And again, they came together really quickly. Even before we had started our season, we hadn't lost any of the preseason matches. Like it's one where there's a lot of energy behind the club. And once everyone kind of came together, we knew something special was going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, even when you were but in the preseason, we saw a lot of the presence that you had, even on social media. There seemed to be a seriousness about the club. Do you feel like that's important when you're trying to build a pro development? You know, you've had a successful men's team for many years now, and now you're developing the women here in the Georgia Conference. How is it important for the approach to be that professional approach is for the success that you've already experienced?
Yeah, I think it's very important. I think when we went about like creating Geranium City FC, we wanted to create our its own identity for our women's side. And one that really our girls academy will be rebranded to Geranium as well, but like really have our focus be on women and girls in our community, and have it have its own identity entirely separate from like Georgia Revolution. And then with that, like we have experience on the men's side, but we wanted to treat everything exactly the same. We wanted to make sure that they had a professional coaching staff. They understand they have to be at training to be considered for the roster on the weekend. And then getting a media team together. We did have a great media team that follows the team. Alyssa's our photographer. She also is one of the assistant coaches for the team. Amanda comes on and does a lot of the short form content for the group. And then my wife Sadie, she kind of leads up the entire media team and is president of the club. And she's really the one that had the vision for everything and keeps everything like on the right track. Where it's one where we wanted it to be as professional of an environment as we could create, and give the players an opportunity to showcase what they have, and showcase our community as well.
Great, great. Well, what was the motivation then putting the team together for the UPSL? I mean, you've had a wide program with academy, with the youth, with the men and women for a while now. But what was the decision-making process to say, hey, let's move into the UPSL? What do you think is the overall motivation for that?
Yeah, well, it's funny. It started probably October of last year. Me, my wife, my brother, we and Eric Diaz, he's our girls director. We were sitting down and we were like, we like our girls academy, and but we want to recreate the success we had on the Rev side, right? Where it's one where there's a team to aspire for the girls. Something that they can look forward to, like when they graduate out of our academy program, they have a club to play for. But we didn't want it to be where, like with many other clubs, where it looks exactly like their men's program and there's not really any separation. We wanted it to have its own identity entirely, like in all intents and purposes, it's like its own club, and one that it's for women and girls to play at. It's where they get to showcase themselves, and it has its own identity. It has its own kits, and that's what we wanted to create was a club for women and girls. That's the focus for it. And again, like Sadie's the one that led up a lot of this, and like the vision for it and stuff, and how we do our messaging, how we approach kind of everything surrounding the club. a lot of it's her vision, to be fair. And it's one where she's the one that took the lead on it, and now we're here. And I was happy. Obviously, she trusted me to coach it, and make sure that on the field we had success. But I credit a lot of the success off the field to her and the media team she's put together. It's one where they they're the ones that really drive the energy behind the club, like behind the scenes especially. Like it's connecting with different local partners, it's connecting with our local community, having people come out to the matches and things. um, and then you get to see all the media all the time too, like on our socials and stuff. They do an excellent job with that, and that provided a lot of energy for the team itself. They knew that if we performed, there would definitely be media going out about them. We've had a couple things go viral now as well with the club. So it's one where if they performed and did well, the media team had their back and they would highlight it for them. And it's yeah, it's a great environment to be a part of, to be honest.
Right. I mean, yeah, and with that media coverage, I mean, how have the girls responded? What have you seen from them? Are they surprised at the interest in them and also their own success in this first season for them?
I don't think anyone's surprised at the success. Like once we were on the field together, again, it was very obvious that we had a lot of players that could perform, um, and it was just about instilling confidence in them. Some of them were in college environments that maybe weren't super positive, that weren't like necessarily doing great as like in their college environments. But when they came together here, they had some pride. They wanted to fight for something, and we gave them a club that they could believe in, that they could trust would have their best interests at heart, right? Like we were making sure that we were training properly. We weren't just going out there like playing 11s and training. Like we created an environment where everyone on the side could improve, and instilling confidence in players that no matter what environment they were coming out of, they would come here and feel comfortable and feel welcome, especially with it being our first season. I think that was really key to a lot of the success this season, and hopefully it leads to more this coming weekend.
Yeah, and speaking of which, that's a good segue for this coming weekend. By way of winning the division, of course, you had a first round bye. That game's going to be contested on Friday between FC Birmingham and UMA FC Athenas. And so you're waiting to see who you're going to play. You're going to play on Sunday there at Old Warhawk Stadium. It'll be on your Georgia Revolution YouTube site.
Mm-hmm.
And so you can check out the game there. The game this Friday is going to be on the ASMG. So the fans will be able to see all the action of the playoffs. But you earned a first round bye, and so you're waiting to see who you're going to play on Sunday. What's the outlook for the play? Obviously, you're going to want to win, but
Yeah.
do you have to look at it a bit differently? How do you? What's is the strategy different now that you have to wait and see what other teams are going to do before you play them on Sunday? Is it an advantage or can it be a disadvantage? As I'm sure they're eager to play. The next
Yeah.
game.
Well, I think there's definitely an advantage when it comes to like the rest between, right? And us being at our home ground, we're very comfortable there. We haven't lost a match there, knock on wood. But like it's one where we're very comfy being at home. And for me, it's regardless of what opponent we're playing, we dictate the games. That's how I want to approach it. So it doesn't matter who we play on Sunday. We know as long as we're following through with like what our jobs and responsibilities are on the pitch, we'll come away with a win. And again, I don't think it matters too much who we're playing against, as long as we do our part and are playing at our best. I, I have full faith in the side, and I think they'll go out and get another victory on Sunday.
Well, I tell you what, it's been a joy. I mean, to watch you guys develop the team this season. I'm glad we were able to get involved as far as media coverage, at least for the last weekend. We're going to
Mm-hmm.
expand that coverage going into the next season. I'm sure that as we get into the next few seasons, one of the questions I have, and I think it's a common challenge for a lot of the women's teams who have a lot of, let's say, college players or the players that play in other leagues. How difficult is it as far as the responsibilities for the players themselves to be available for many of these league games? Is that something that is a big challenge for you, or does it work well with the setup that you have there at Geranium City?
So I know for this season we haven't had any challenges as far as like being available and things. Most of the players right now they're out of their college seasons, so they are available. And then we also have a core group of local players that have also come on. Now they play at local colleges and things as well, typically. So we'll see what their availability is like in the fall. But I think for me, it's at least this season we haven't had any issue, and I think the timing of kind of the women's season over the summer and like late spring, it worked out well to where not just us, but many of the teams in the division were able to compete really competitive sides. And I definitely think that would be a lot more difficult in the fall. Just knowing like which teams that were successful, especially this season, have like a core that is definitely playing in college currently. But that also led to a really high standard of play, which I've really enjoyed this season.
Right, right. Yeah. So, and as we get into the next few seasons and here in the UPSL, me being involved with the management, of course, we'll have to maybe make some tweaks and get creative to allow the girls to get the most out of being a participant in the league, whether they play in college or not. So, but I look forward to the challenge and I think it'll be great. But I wanted to ask you one last thing, and it's basically for the fans and the supporters there. What would you like to say to those fans and supporters that you have? You have a good following in general in the club. What would you like to say to them as far as the work that you're doing with Geranium City, and what would help you from them?
Come out to the match on Sunday. I mean, it's one where I know the team especially loves when there's a big crowd out there. It puts a lot of energy into the game. Anytime we're at Old Warhawk too, it's just a boost for us. So definitely come out to the game on Sunday at 7. There's going to be a food truck there. We'll have different prizes available for like there's like a half like a crossbar challenge at halftime.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
a lot of times there'll be little pug nets out, like if kids want to like play pickup soccer. Like it's a fun environment to be at. But we're expecting a good turnout. I know the city's behind us now too, so it's yeah. Just I guess my biggest message: come out to the game on Sunday.
There you go. There you go. And I would like to echo that. It's really good to support the team in general, but it's also something that'll help boost the structure of the club, and drive it forward and supporting these girls and help their careers. So yeah, come on out and check it out. The game is on Sunday at 7 kickoff.
Yep.
Is that right? At Old Warhawk Stadium. And that game is going to be on the Georgia Revolution YouTube channel. So check that out. But Alec, I want to thank you for taking time out just to talk about the success of your team this season, and we look forward to seeing a lot more of you, not only with the the men and possibly youth academy at some point, but also the women to continue their fine success there.
Yeah, of course. I really appreciate you having me.